Today we're going to look at the oil-fired boiler. We're going to take out the pilot burner. We're going to adjust it and also see how to start the boiler in manual. So first we need to shut off the fuel valves and also the fuel valves and the air valves for the ignition electrodes. So first we're going to take out the fuel and the air pipe for the ignition electrode. Once this pipe is removed, we're going to remove the flame sensor. This is sensing the intensity of the flame once the boiler is running. Make sure it's clean and you can see the sensor, so it's able to sense the flame when the boiler is running in auto. Then we're going to remove the electrical connections for the electrodes. These are normal spark plugs. Make sure they are not damaged or cracked and all the wiring is tight. Now we can remove the screw holding the pilot burner, and we can pull out the pilot burner. We're gonna see the adjustment for this and also how to clean the nozzle in the workshop later. I'm just gonna keep it on the side here for a while. We can inspect the boiler inside, the rotary cup. We open the locking mechanism and we can swing out the burner. Now we are able to look inside. We can see the swirler plate. We can see the ignition electrode holder. We have to make sure everything is in place, it's tight. The bolts holding the swirler plates are okay. You can also inspect the refractory inside for cracks or damage. There should be no deposits on the swirler plate. If it's dirty, damaged, you replace it and clean it. Also, there should be no signs of fuel outside here. If you have fuel, you can see outside. That means the adjustment of the rotary cup and the primary nozzle is not okay. Here you can see the rotary cup. Make sure this is clean as well. The primary air nozzles around it should also be intact and no deposits there. The bolts for the nozzle is tight. You can inspect the belt for tightness and that the belts are in good condition and it's moving freely. Now we're going to go to the workshop and look at our ignition burner in a while. The primary air damper has to be checked that it's moving freely as well. That damper is controlled by our compound regulator, which is controlling the air and fuel ratio for our boiler. Make sure all the linkages are okay. Grease the linkages. For a pilot burner, we're going to remove the nozzle first. Make sure not to damage the electrodes while you're removing it. The most important part here is to make sure the adjustment of electrodes is okay. You can refer to the manual, how much the distance between the electrodes, the distance from the nozzle should be. This is our nozzle. As you can see, there's a filter on top. It should come out easy with hand generally, so don't tighten it too much. So we're going to put the nozzle on the vise, and you can unscrew the filter on top. We are using diesel oil here, so it's pretty clean. You can put it in a solvent, blow with some air and clean it. There's an Allen bolt holding the nozzle. You can remove it and take out the parts, inspect the nozzle. Make sure the hole size has not increased, that will affect the spray. You can clean all the parts and assemble it together again. If you need to replace any parts, you can use a new nozzle. To adjust the electrodes, you have these two Allen bolts where you can adjust the distance. The distance between the electrodes can be adjusted by hand. They are a little flexible. Here, for the primary nozzle and between the primary nozzle and the rotary cup, this distance is also very important. Please check how much it should be in your manual. To start the boiler in manual, you need to make sure the burner modulation is in manual, and then you just switch the burner to manual mode. The combustion air fan will start. And you can see here the boiler is at minimum and it's touching the first limit switch. Now we need to purge the boiler, so we increase the modulation all the way up till it hits the next limit switch. We stay here for at least 2 minutes. Make sure the boiler is purged properly. This is very important if you don't want to have a blowback once you start the boiler and all the gases are gone. Once you have completed the purge, you can go back down to the first limit switch at the lowest point on the modulation, and now you can start the boiler. We need to open the fuel and air valve for the pilot burner. The main fuel valves. So you need to hit the ignition switch first and you will be able to see a flame. Once you see a flame, you need to press the black button, that is oil valves. And once the oil valves open, you can remove your hands from the buttons and the boiler will run. So now I've started the boiler as I've explained it. You can see we have a flame. You can inspect how the flame is. Before I started, I saw that there was a spark between the electrodes, and that was due to the spark plug which damaged the plastic casing. We replaced it and it's okay now.